Do you ever feel like your life has hit the skids? Like life is passing you by day after day? Now, that's not you, is it? I don't think so. I think you want to get unstuck. Well, you can, and it requires just one simple but crucial shift. And today we're going to cover exactly how you make that shift. Hey, everyone, and welcome. Chances are that since you're here, you're stuck in that familiar feeling of being stuck in neutral while life speeds by you. And to add to your misery, you're bombarded with productivity hacks and motivation porn that can make you feel like you're constantly failing. And honestly, I get it. Now, I'm not a guru or someone who's got it all figured out. But what I am is someone who's wrestled with that suffocating feeling of stagnation. Those days when you know you should be doing something, anything, but you're paralyzed by the weight of your own potential. And along the way, I've stumbled into some incredibly powerful ideas wrapped in Stoic wisdom that have genuinely helped me break free. Not perfectly, but enough to make a real difference. So you're not going to hear any grand pronouncements here. Instead, in this video series, you'll hear me sharing my own experience with life's challenges. My hope is that by seeing how Stoicism is helping me, you might find something that sparks action in your own life. This isn't about transforming yourself into a different person. It's much simpler than that. It's about unleashing that unstoppable person that's been waiting inside of you all along and that surfaces once in a while, but you want to be able to call upon it on demand. Now, let's be honest about what getting stuck really is. It's not just laziness, although that's what we tell ourselves. It's that awful combination of wanting to move forward, but feeling like you're stuck in quicksand. You'll start the day with all these great intentions. Maybe you'll finally start that project that you've been hoping to start forever, or that difficult conversation that you've been waiting to have, or maybe make that personal change you've been talking about, but then nothing. The day slips away in a haze of distractions, and you're left with that familiar ache and disappointment in yourself. It gets to us. Here's what I've learned, though. This isn't a character flaw. This is often your mind just trying to protect yourself from something that it perceives is dangerous to you. How? Well, what if your plans aren't complete and you fail? The ancient Stoics understood this phenomenon deeply, and they had a remedy for it. The problem isn't that you lack motivation or willpower. The problem is that you're fighting the wrong battle entirely. There's a Stoic principle called the discipline of action. Now, on the surface, that might sound different than what they really mean. Most people believe this means forcing yourself to act, grinding through resistance. But the Stoics were a little more sophisticated than that. Epictetus taught something revolutionary. Don't wait for extraordinary circumstances to do good. Try instead to use ordinary situations. But here's the deeper truth that he was pointing to. The reason we get stuck isn't because we're waiting for perfect conditions or waiting until our plans are laid out exactly as they need to be. Yes, these are excuses, but there's more to it than that. We're stuck because we've made action dependent on feeling ready. Think about it. How many times have you said, well, I'll start when I feel the motivation, or I'll do it when I have more energy, or I'll begin just as soon as I'm in the mood, right? Gosh, I know I have many, many times. But the Stoics discovered this is completely backwards. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his meditation, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself it's time to go to work on just being human today." Not at his job as emperor. He was talking about the work of being fully human. For us, that means acting in accordance with our true nature, regardless of how we feel in the moment. Here's the shift that changes everything. Instead of waiting to feel like acting, we act our way into feeling. The Stoics called this practicing a virtue. And virtue to them was simply action aligned with wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. But here's where it gets really practical. They developed a technique for breaking through stagnation that we could call the smallest possible step. Here are a couple of practical techniques that are simple to implement, yet very powerful at the same time. Try the 2-minute rule. The Stoics were obsessed with the present moment, and not for mystical reasons, but for practical ones. When you're stuck, you're usually overwhelmed by the enormity of what you think you need to do. So here's what you do. Identify the smallest action that you can take right now. Something so small it would almost be harder not to do it than to do it. Want to write a book? Open a document and write one single sentence. Want to get in shape? Don't plan out this elaborate routine. Just drop down and do a few push-ups right now. So, what is it for you? Take 2 minutes and just do it. The magic isn't in the action itself. It's in proving to yourself that you're someone who acts. Here's another technique: the morning intention for action. Start each day by setting one intention, and not a goal, because goals inherently have outcomes that you just can't control. Intentions are about actions that you can take regardless of circumstances. Instead of, "I'm going to have a great day today," try, "I will respond to challenges with intention today." And instead of, "I will finish this project today," "I will work on the project for one focused hour." If you're like me, that might be first thing in the morning. And here's what happens when you start applying these principles. You stop living at the mercy of your moods. You stop waiting for motivation to strike like lightning. Instead, you become someone who creates momentum through action. The Stoics understood something profound. We don't think our way into new ways of acting. We act our way into new ways of thinking. Every small action that you take is a vote for the kind of person that you want to become. And here's the beautiful part. Once you start moving, the universe seems to conspire to help you keep moving. Opportunities tend to just appear. Energy increases, confidence builds, not because of magic, but because action creates clarity, and clarity creates more focused action. You'll discover what the Stoics knew, that the antidote to stagnation is active practice, not motivation. The daily practice of choosing action over inaction, even the tiniest action, progress, even the tiniest progress over perfection, and movement over paralysis. Yeah, even the tiniest movement. This is how you become unstoppable, not by eliminating all the obstacles, because you can't, but by becoming someone who moves through them consistently. So here's your challenge. Before this video ends, identify one thing that you've been putting off, something that would make a real difference in your life if you just started. Now, identify one simple first step. Now, that step be even smaller. And even smaller yet, make it so small that you could easily do it in the next few minutes. Next, well, why not share your commitment to that action with us in the comments? That in itself is an action, because here's the truth that the Stoics discovered some 20 centuries ago. The path from stagnation to unstoppable begins with that tiny little step. And that step is always available to you right now, exactly as you are and from exactly where you are. If this resonates with you, share it with someone who needs it right now. And remember, you're not stuck because you're broken. You're stuck because you're human. The difference is what you do next, right now. And please like and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Stop watching your life, start living it. My name is Mel Inglema, and I thank you for watching, and I'll see you here next time.